All right, guys, welcome to Revolutionary Pod, episode 10. Today I'm with Chris and Jin. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hello.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we're on here as guests.
So
Where's AIDS boys?
recurring guests.
Yeah.
They were here from the start, man. So it's time to get the band back together.
Yeah, get the gang back together.
So let's start with the first thing that actually happened today. Is was it today or yesterday? The local election took place yesterday, and Reform won by a landslide.
Was it a landslide?
Bro, it was a flipping landslide.
Was it though?
Like, should I tell you the numbers?
Like, surely it's just like 10%,
No.
5%.
Bro, let me tell you the numbers. So they got 764. I don't know what that is, by the way. Seats, number of councillors, right?
That's how many people want to sit next to them.
Also, do you know, Jin, do you know the difference between local and general election? You don't?
Isn't local just to do
Ge-
with
Yeah,
areas?
yeah. I think local.
So
is
what
the-
was it? A general or local?
It's a
That was a local.
That was a local.
Yeah.
Oh, local is not that serious then.
No, but
No,
it
but
gets
it
it
gives
gets
a good forecast.
it's
Yeah.
not obviously a serious one, but it kind of tells you, oh, how are people thinking?
So yeah, they won 674, and in second place wasn't even Conservative or Labour. It was Liberal Democrats with 368. So it is a landslide. They won by double.
But
Basically
the,
double.
The crazy thing is that it's actually Liberal Democrat second.
Yeah,
And
that's
Conservative and Labour are just
that's what I'm saying. They're
everyone's just lost hope.
everyone's just tired of them, man. Conservative.
Everyone's
I don't
lost
blame them. Like Labour's at 99. Conservatives at
Yeah.
316. So Labour's just not even in the question.
No.
It's just either LD or Reform.
I mean, people are sick of it though.
So what do you think, Zaid? What do you think of this situation?
I mean, okay, so projected for the general election, Reform would still win by a landslide again, 213 to 126. So we're
Yeah.
fucked. Yeah. we're
But why is that a bad thing, in your opinion?
fucked.
And what do you think it means for the country?
I think
This is
it's-
UK, by the way, for those who are watching from.
I think this is the beginning of. I mean, I'm
One
not
of
going to
the-
say total fascism. I'm
was
not going
gonna
to say
say-
it's total fascism, but like, it's just the MAGA equivalent. Like, Reform is the MAGA equivalent, right?
So do you think this is cultivated from Trump winning in America
Yeah.
and the British people?
I don't think that it's just that though.
I think the Trump winning kind of inspired them.
No, because that's not inspiring people. That even MAGA people are getting annoyed at what Trump's doing. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's because of everything that's gone on, the riots and like the UK just kind of like
Yeah, I mean, and remember we used to talk about this, how like the UK is reaching a boiling point.
it is, yeah.
And now it's like we're actually seeing like, yo,
And we literally said the same thing. We were like, "Oh, if Reform is probably going to win." Like it's not like a shock. We literally said Reform will probably win.
yeah, but actually,
No, but like, bro, it's like you got to think. Okay, you're not going to pick Labour. You're not going to pick Conservative. Maybe Liberal Democrats. But then the next one was Reform. I mean, in terms of like when people are going, "Oh, what are we going to pick?" Their mindset is we need to pick something that's going to like incite change. They just want change.
they just want change, and no matter what it is, I think. Even though I think Reform is a disaster, I think it'll still bring us interesting. I still think it will be interesting.
I think it would be entertaining.
Well,
Yeah,
what-
but it might be a nightmare, though. What are you saying?
Why do you think people voted for reform so much?
That's a
What do you think the main reason?
That's a really good question, and I think in order to avoid pointing fingers, I think it's because they weren't really offered a viable alternative by the left. Like the left doesn't really have any viable alternatives. Like we have Kid Starver, we have Kid Stalin, Keir Starmer, we have Kid Starver, and we have these fucking David Lammy who's like having secret meetings with Israel. And I'm not saying Israel's the only reason why the Labour Party is bad or whatever. But all I'm saying is that these people, the left wingers, they still want capitalism. They don't have any radical change. So when reform comes in, they seem radical, even though they're not radical. Reform are doing nothing. Reform are not going to change the system. The only thing reform is going to do is just maintain the same social order, just kick out maybe immigrants. But I don't even think they're going to do that.
Didn't they? I think I saw something about them kicking out a bunch of refugees that have sexual assault like cases in their or history. I was like, why would you let in? Everyone in the comments was like, why would you let in people with sexual assault history anyway? Like,
No,
why was that
I-
even a thing?
No, I agree with that.
But that's not even on the reform end of things. That's what like Labour were doing anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just yes.
But the thing is, it's like reform people, these working class people, they've kind of been duped. Like they think that reform is gonna revolutionize the system, is gonna change the system. But no, reform is gonna, if anything, make the rich richer. You think they're gonna reduce taxes?
But
for the rich?
what party is gonna do that?
That's what I'm saying. And
There
that's
is no
where
party.
I've been screaming, like we need a third pill. Labour's not doing it. We need something else. And that's why we need a reform for the left. That's what we need. We need a reform for the left. We need a Trumpian left winger. That's what we need. That's what we need.
I don't
I think I've got just the guy.
I don't think that's what we need.
That's what we need, bro, because the problem isn't that the left is too radical. The problem is that the left is not radical enough. That's the problem.
We don't need extremes though. That's not what we're looking
But
for.
we
We're
do
looking
need
for
radical change.
But in what sense? So you're saying you're saying that we need extremists, like,
not extremists in a bad way, but as in we need change.
so what
That's why
needs
people
changing?
voted for reform, because they were promised change. But what they don't know is that this change that reform is offering it's not good change.
So what is the change that you want to see that is not being implemented right now?
Well, we need some sort of model of the future, some sort of new model, because as it currently goes, the system can't keep going as it is. Do you agree with that or not? Like, do you agree that this current economic system that we're living in can't keep going?
He's
Do you
talking about
mean
he's
UK
talking about
or-
he's talking about global change.
Global capitalism.
He's not
Like,
even just talking about the UK.
Yeah.
But just specifically talking about the UK. I mean, in terms of the UK, what I would like to see is like, I feel like in terms of wealth in the people is not very high.
Well, UK is dying right now.
The UK's
It's
wealth
really
is
dying.
the UK's economy is not. I mean, the money is leaving the UK. Anyone that's rich is leaving and taking their money out the UK. And in terms of like salaries as well in the UK compared to the cost of living, like it's probably worse than every other country in terms of in the same state as the UK.
what I'm trying to say to you is that do you guys not think that we are reaching a global boiling point? Like
Global boiling
a
point,
boiling
yeah, sure,
point, like the
into
world,
a
like
war.
global trade, World War III, and it's not like we're just saying this as in it's just a joke. Like, it can actually happen. This is a reality.
Yeah, a war can happen. I
But-
mean, this trade war is probably more likely than an actual war.
I mean, you say that, but the thing is, the world has always been at a boiling point at so many points, right? World War II
Yeah,
happened,
that's true.
World War One happened, the Cold War happened. So is this not just part of?
Yeah, it's part of the cycle of life. But what I'm trying to say to you is that doesn't mean we don't. You know what I mean? Now it's going back to it. You know what I mean?
We had a conversation about this like a couple podcasts ago, where I was like, it's human nature to have wars, and Zay was like, oh yeah, like why can't we just like be in peace? I was like, I don't think humans can just be in peace. If people are in power, there's not going to be peace. You would need one person in power globally. There would need to be a one government power for there to not be wars, and even there still be civil wars.
I mean, what reform is promising is a conservative revolution. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the
But
problem is.
conservative revolution doesn't make sense because revolutions are by nature progressive, correct? Because they're changing. But they want a revolution that's not a revolution. They want a revolution so that everything stays the same.
But what if in their viewpoint it's gone so left that the radical change is to go back to the right? So that is progressive in the sense that
It's progressive in the sense that it's not progressing. So if that's progression, then okay, we're getting confused.
No, but your idea of progressing is to turn capitalism into something else. But you can't change. The UK is not going to just change from a capitalist society to something else.
but I think it will change because I think with AI, I think eventually it will have to change.
Globally, but they're influenced by so many other regions. They can't just change individually, and then the rest of the
But
regions.
don't you think that AI job loss will just some societies gonna have to
globally
change?
Globally, it should change.
And do you think that's like realistic at this point? Like, do you think it's far?
no,
Come on,
I
man.
kind of agree with Zaid on this. Like, because Chris, we've been doing this project of ours, right? And the fact that I can code is crazy
Yeah,
based
no.
on AI.
No, I agree. AI can replace jobs probably right now. That's not the point. It's not the point. Like, in terms of getting a global change that Zaid's talking about, where it gets to a point where everyone's lost their jobs, and now we have to reform how the structure works, and capitalism is we're going, is this capitalism thing even gonna work? Or like, should we start using robots to like function society? Should we become a socialist society globally? You think that's gonna happen in 2-3 years?
No.
But why though? Like, why? This is what I mean. Why is everyone
Because
so
it
down
takes-
for reform, which is promising nothing? And then when I'm actually down for like a real revolution, this is too long.
No,
Oh, this is too,
Zaid, it's not that I'm down for that. I am down for that. It just takes it takes so long, especially large corporations that have so much infrastructure, that have built so much time and effort into whatever's working right now. They're not going to go, let's just spend billions of money to just flip this all over again.
Yeah, but but unfortunately, it's an inevitability, because once AI can take jobs, which is, in my opinion, I think my prediction of AI taking jobs was a bit out. Like, I don't think it's coming soon.
No, AI is taking jobs right now. But
I mean, it's indirectly taking jobs.
No, it's happening right now. There's multiple big companies that I've worked for that have had AI come in, and this is the early days. I'm arguing for you, saying it's already happening. My point is, for it to get to a point where the government steps in, it's not happening in 2 years. For it to get to a point where the government goes, oh yeah, by the way, you're out of a job because of an AI. Here's like some Swedish socialism, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month to live.
Yeah, but then what happens when it actually just starts taking jobs on a mass scale then?
They're gonna have to step in, but I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen right now or in
that's
2
what
years.
I'm saying. So it's not. So I was off.
No, I think you have a good point though, Zaid, because it's I think when people hear your theory, they think this guy's crazy, but you have a very valid point that what actually happens when too many jobs are lost and people, like half the population isn't working. So that's a good point.
Yeah, but how realistic do you think that is?
How long it was gonna take?
I think it's inevitable to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know when it's gonna happen. And I don't know what the solution is. But you're saying the solution is
like some sort of high tax universal basic income. You can call it communism, socialism, whatever. I don't really give a fuck.
It's socialism.
Whatever it is, it's
socialism.
redistribution of wealth to a high level.
I don't think it's gonna redistribute wealth. I think wealth will always stay there. They're not gonna just take from the rich and go, oh yeah, by the way, here's tax. They're just gonna find a way to avoid tax. There's gonna be countries that aren't gonna be up for it.
So you're basically saying that we're gonna be at a point of such good living that we will no longer have to work, and production will be taken over by AI.
Yep.
And then what?
And then we just fuck around.
We become adventuring explorers that go into space and spot out new planets and like live a life where we don't have to put.
It's kind of like Elon Musk. One day we send a rocket into space. One day I work on Tesla. Like Elon Musk lives like a fucking communist.
Bro, we're gonna be like Katy Perry, bro.
Elon Musk, the biggest capitalist, lives like a communist.
We're gonna be like Katy Perry, bro. We're gonna go up into space and we're gonna feel like extraterrestrial, out there, like be better than everyone because we've experienced that. We don't have to work anymore. Like once we don't have to work and robots doing everything for us, we could just go painting and shit. So we can go kick footballs with each other and like.
So let me ask you a question. What is your biggest issue about the current way of life? That, like, let's say in your life, what is the biggest issue that you feel?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Taking capitalism at its logistical endpoint, it will always cause conflicts, because when you have competition, you'll always have someone trying to go above the other person. Correct? So that will always cause conflict, and when you're and then people will be like, oh, but competition is a good thing. Okay, maybe for like football, maybe for like basketball, table tennis. But is competition really a good thing? Is competition really a good thing when we're fighting for survival?
Jin. Is competition a good... Okay, between me and you, in terms of like let's say that any projects that we would work on, when there's a competitor, doesn't it fuel you that there's a competitor better than you? Does it make you want to achieve more?
Yeah, and you'd get annoyed if you're doing a lot more work. This is exactly what we were talking about yesterday with Zaid.
Yeah.
If you're doing more work, you expect to be paid more, right?
Yeah.
Or you expect to be rewarded more.
Yeah, and that goes back to the origin of value, the labor source of value. You know, value in economic terms, talk purely economic terms. Jin done an economics degree, okay? What is value measured by? Like money. Is it measured by gold or time, labor time? Like, what defines the price of an item? Price of something.
Demand.
I know, but where does value come from?
You're trying to say time, right?
Labor time. It doesn't come from gold. You know that?
Yeah, like
it always because how would you know what to trade gold for?
The currency is gold.
I know, but how would you know what to trade gold for? It's labor time.
Yeah.
The origin source of value is labor time.
Well, it's also like
so what happens when that's
scarcity, isn't it? It's also how rare something is.
I know, but then how would you compare the rareness to value? It's by time, labor time, like how much effort you put in to make something. That's the true source of value.
So you're saying that even rare things like diamonds, they take a long time to cultivate.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is that the source of value is not diamonds or gold. Even if something's really rare, source of value is labor time in capitalism, in the market.
No, it's not binary like that. Labor can be a source of value, but what?
It's the fundamental. But my point is that it's the fundamental source of even more than diamond.
No, because you can isolate something and say that time isn't even the value of it. Like you can just say it's just because of rarity.
No, because labor time is the amount of work you put in.
Yeah.
How would you measure a value of something if you don't know how?
Rarity.
Yeah, but what would you measure that rarity against?
Like rarity,
other non-rare things, common things, and not like just like when you play a video game and something's common, something's uncommon, something's rare, but something's Chris, really rare.
The thing is, like, if it's rare, let's say diamonds are rare, right? The time it takes to cultivate, or the time it takes to find it, and the fact that it's scarce is because it takes a long time to find it, is also a reason why it takes. The time is what makes it rare.
If you're actively trying to find it,
this is not my third point. Shall I give you my point? Let's say you have a diamond, okay, or gold. What would you trade that diamond for? You trade it for something that's taken a lot of time to make, kind of. Like, how can I say it? You trade the gold or the diamond for a lot of labor time.
Crazy.
Basically, labor time is the fundamental source of value. That's my point. It's not gold or diamond. It's always labor time. Because diamond, what would you trade it for?
Something that's just as rare.
Okay, for example, let's say we trade it for food.
Yeah. Food.
Yeah.
Food. Why is food expensive? Not because cows are rare to find, because it takes time. You have to go, you have to hunt, you have to cook. It's time that is the value. Labor time.
I agree when you go to a restaurant.
Labor time.
When you go to absolutely nothing.
I agree when you go to a restaurant, you're paying for time, and that's why it costs more.
That's the source of value. And what happens when AI reduces labor time to fucking zero? No one does any work anymore. Something has to change, man. Something has to change.
So what is your worry then?
My worry is that capitalism in itself will just start to collapse.
So these designer brands that make like really expensive clothes, is that labor time?
That's more like scarcity and like...
No,
they're using expensive materials.
No, but that's just value created out of subjection. It's just subject.
Yeah.
It's not labor time, right?
Yeah. Nah, it's just value created out of like bullshit.
Yeah, but that is another way of humans just creating value out of like absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not always labor time.
No, it's not. But
I mean, it's like someone in this like a sweatshop can do the same thing. Basically, is what I'm saying. But like,
I get what you're trying to say, Zaid. You're saying time is the most valuable thing to humans.
Labor time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So time to humans is the most important thing, and AI having the ability to take that away means, what does it mean?
Economic collapse.
Would it collapse? Why? Just because like it's just making everything really cheap and easy.
Exactly.
And so your worry, you're kind of like, the reason why you're doing this is because you want people to be aware that something like catastrophic is going to happen if nothing happens.
Yes, exactly. That's my point.
It could. I mean, that is potential though. That could easily happen though.
So it's like you're kind of like, what's that? Stuart Little.
Yeah.
The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Exactly.
No one sees what you're doing.
I don't think
and people are listening to fucking reform instead. That's what pisses me off. Trump and MAGA and reform. And what's Trump trying to do? Fucking start. Okay, let's talk about Trump now. What do you think about his first 100 days? Like, yeah, let me just start a fucking trade war. Let me just create an ethnic cleansing campaign. Let me just fucking deport people and say, the guy who got deported, Mahmoud, he's fucking tweeted on the White House, Shalom Mahmoud. Like, how much anti-Semitism do you think that's going to incite?
I mean, he's a Jew. Trump is a Jew.
He's not. He's fucking Christian.
No. He in 2021 he became a Jew. Like this is actually like documented. Like he actually is a Jew. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that.
He went. He brought his family. There's videos of him bringing his family, and he's wearing the Jew hat, and he went to the place where you put your hand in there and you put it in the hole.
So Trump's logic for the trade war is, let me tariff these people so I can encourage people to produce more in the US, right? But what he doesn't understand is that, do you really think people in fucking LA, these pink-haired fucking liberals who want a 3-day work week and on £20 per hour are going to work in they are going to fucking...
He's mocking his own people.
Do you think these people are going to work in a sweatshop, bro, to make fucking... you had China doing the slavery work for you. You didn't have to start a trade war. Like, if anything, he fucked himself, bro.
It's even worse than that. Because he's getting these factories and people aren't going to be working in it. It's robotics working in those factories.
Yeah, but that's
it's even worse.
That's what I'm saying. But that's when robotic comes. It's
even more pointless because no one's going to be working in there.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is that let's say robotics doesn't exist. He thinks that these American people are going to work fucking making our iPhones. They're not going to fucking do that, bro.
I don't think so. What? I think you're kind of making Trump seem like really dumb.
He is dumb. He's dumb as fuck.
No, like
didn't he bankrupt like 6 companies before he came on? Like he has a track record of bankrupting companies.
But what I'm saying, I think his plan is, because he's investing so much in AI centers and stuff, right? He's was it 500 billion that he was going to invest?
Stargate.
And I think his plan is to get it locally in the US using AI.
No, but he's not saying that we're gonna bring these. He's not saying we're gonna make production in the US so we can stuff robots with it. He's saying he wants the people to work, and then the people are like, I can't wait to be slaving away in the fucking the workshop, guys, so I can be making iPhones. Like, you already had China making it, bro. This is what I mean. The trade war doesn't make any sense, even for America. Like, even America loses out on it. So he just got bored. He was like, let me just fuck with global trade today. Let me just deport Mahmoud Khalil for. And this is what I mean. People, and let's talk about the other issue. People fucking getting blackbagged in the middle of the night for fucking protesting against Israel. What do you think about that?
In the UK?
In the US. These people on university campuses, bro, getting blackbagged in the middle of the night just for opposing a genocide. Like, and you know what's funny? Half these people that are getting arrested for protesting are fucking Jewish themselves, and they're getting arrested for being anti-Semitic.
I mean,
and here's the other catch: there's anti-Semites in the Trump administration itself.
You know, it's happening in the UK as well. It's not even just in the US. Like, the police are stopping protesters that are protesting against Israel, and then whenever they're like, "Oh yeah, but like if I was protesting for Israel, would you arrest us?" He's like, "No, I wouldn't." Like, it's like, how can you say that so blatantly? No, are you joking?
Yeah, but this is what I mean. It's like, he says he's standing against anti-Semitism when he is arresting Jewish protesters, and he has actual open anti-Semites in his government, like RFK Jr. and fucking Pia Hegseth, and even Trump himself has said anti-Semitic shit. Elon Musk has openly said anti-Semitic shit on Twitter. Didn't he say like fucking... Didn't he like reply to someone on Twitter?
I mean, he literally did a Hail Hitler sign.
Yeah, I mean, he can fucking throw cigars, he can do whatever he wants. As long as he's not criticizing Israel, obviously that's the real anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? The fucking...
We're going all out today, aren't
I think when Trump started, everyone was just like, oh, like, you know, this is interesting. And then everyone started to realize just how like retarded it started to become. Even his biggest supporters have now like turned against him, which is actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, people are just like, it's becoming dystopian. Like,
I mean, he is still like an entertaining guy though. Like, if we just take away the fact that there's destruction everywhere, he is. You know, that's kind of what I'm expecting with the UK if it, you know, ends up with reform.
No, but I think Trump really is like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think he's really bad. Like,
so what was your view on China then?
China, they're not perfect, but in my opinion, like China. Like, we could make some potential deals with them, like in the ideal government.
Aren't China's government actually like doing a lot to help their infrastructure? Like, or is that just all like propaganda? Because that's apparently what's happening.
They do, but
like they reinvest
China's kind
in
of an ironic
themselves
country because they're meant to be a communist country for the people, when in reality they have the most, like, the worst workers' rights. Like, they have literal slaves slaving away in a sweatshop, and then they call themselves for the people. You know, the Communist Party. Which is funny, like, but yeah, China's not perfect, but they're definitely, I think they're better than the US in this stance.
In what sense?
I wouldn't want them to rule the world. Like, people are like, yeah, China's the next wave. Like, I wouldn't want them to rule the world. Fuck that.
But supposedly they constantly reinvest into their own country. Like the money's always going back.
They do. And look what they made with DeepSeek. Like they managed to make a AI model without having the GPUs to scale it or whatever.
Yeah.
They managed to like
Allegedly.
they managed to like fucking dig themselves from the mud and just make their own AI model without and OpenAI has like so much more resources than them. So yeah, they've done some impressive things. I mean,
But I don't mean what they've done as a country. I mean their political stance.
yeah, no, they're also pretty they're not amazing. They're authoritarian. They spy on their people. You fucking say one thing about Taiwan, and your fucking camera turns into a fucking transformer. And just like they're not. China's pretty bad as well, bro. Like China's also not perfect, but I was gonna ask you about like, what do you think that Trump and Netanyahu are actually leading the world into oblivion? Like, I think these clowns are gonna like really like they really don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think Netanyahu is. I think Trump's his little like sidekick.
No, but I think Trump, even as like crazy as he is, I think he's authentic, as in he genuinely believes what he's doing is right. I think. I don't think because like we said before, he's not a puppet in my opinion. I don't think. I think he's as free thinking as a president has ever been.
And that's what's funny. It's like he's a free thinker, and people hate a fucking puppet that much that they would rather a free thinker that's like openly evil, like openly retarded, openly saying grab them by the pussy, ethnic cleansing. Like they would rather him, but at least he's honest, than Kamala, who's just giving PR answers all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's just like a relationship. You'd rather someone say it straight than like
yeah, but Trump is saying the bad shit straight.
Yeah, rather than like doing it behind the lines.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
you can
worse.
appreciate him for that, but like, why can't we have a guy that says the good shit straight? You know what I mean? Why is that out?
It wasn't one of the options.
Yeah, I mean that's why we need a third pill. Again,
You
like
know
I
what?
said.
Maybe you're into something.
That's why we need a third.
I mean,
pill.
I think anyone would pick for a third pill. It's just like, who's gonna do it?
If the best America has is Harris or Trump, maybe the third pill is the way.
I mean, do you remember that? It was like a secret. It wasn't a secret meeting. It happened a meeting. It was like a year ago. It was 2 members of OpenAI and 2 other people. Guess who they are?
Who?
Netanyahu and Elon
What?
Musk. Elon Musk. They had a meeting and they were talking about how AI, this coming wave, is going to replace jobs and how we need to give UBI. The worst people on earth, Netanyahu and Elon Musk, who are the most pro-capitalist people in the world, are talking about socialism. That's how much the left has failed. The left has failed when the biggest capitalists are talking about communism more than them. Like, do you see what I mean?
Who's your favorite leftist?
Slavoj Žižek.
Shout out to Slavoj Žižek.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question then. What is it that... So when you're doing this podcast, what is your message to the people? What is it that you want to get out of this?
My message to the people is that crunch time is approaching.
He loves saying this like slogan.
Like, AI is going to take jobs. Ethnic cleansing is continuing in Israel, in Palestine. Putin's invading recklessly as well. Like, evil needs to be stopped. We have a mission ahead of us. And
how do we stop Netanyahu?
How do we stop Netanyahu? Well, protests don't work. Boycotting doesn't work.
Should we just shut up?
This is my point. This is what gets me, right? The Palestine.
Okay.
I think I said this to you before.
Yeah.
But the whole Palestine conflict, there was so many protests in almost so many countries, right?
Yeah.
In the West especially.
Yeah.
So much happened. So many celebrities came out supporting Palestine, but the result is the same. The result is nothing changed
on the ground level. Yeah.
More like, not more, but like so many deaths happened regardless of all this protest. What changed
It's
from
just
all this?
Protest doesn't do anything.
That's my point.
Yep, I agree. And I'm not saying these people who go protests are bad, so per se, or that they don't have goodwill. But what I'm trying to say to you is that these things don't work. So you just need radical action at this point. You can use,
So when you say radical action,
you can use your imagination.
no, can you elaborate on what you mean?
We're gonna get banned.
I
We're
mean,
gonna get better.
No, can you elaborate, please?
I mean, what happened with Mark Duggan when he died? They burnt the city to the ground.
Yeah, but even if you do that, nothing's gonna. You do realize
Well,
that's
it
not
does though, because that's like we're basically saying, okay, guys. Like,
So, what's your call to action then?
my call to action is what I'm trying to say to you is that, you know, there needs to be there needs to be like, that's it.
There needs to be.
We're getting banned.
You heard it here first, bro.
There needs
We're getting
because
there.
nothing else is good, and it's not like I'm saying it's not like I'm evil. I'm saying I'm talking about 50,000 plus dead kids, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm saying for some bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm saying there's actual. How can I say this?
But
There's actual,
where we here? Because there's no point right here. That's
but
nothing.
why not? Why not? You know that David Lammy and fucking the Labour government met with Israel the last week and like 2 weeks ago.
What's that going to change with Israel?
Why, but they're doing meetings in secret. Like the UK knows that it's complicit with Israel, but they don't want to let the world know. They want to keep it on the low.
Yeah,
like before, they could have a meeting with Israel and they would let the world know. But now they had a meeting with Israel and they didn't want to let anyone know because they know that this might spark public outrage. And it should spark public outrage. We should be outraged.
We should do more. We should just there, bro.
Yeah,
like,
we should.
Hey.
And
Israel, bro.
and no, not Israel. Here, it has to be here. We can't go all the way there.
What the
Why?
fuck is
No, he's got a good point. You're saying that there needs to be a reform, but you're gonna here.
You're right here.
Of the actual
Right
country
here, because we can apply political pressure on our government. What I'm trying to say to you is that if we go out and right now for Palestine, I guarantee you we'll have millions join us.
Do you think the UK will influence Israel enough that if we put pressure on the UK government, they're going to change what's going on in Israel?
Yes.
You think the UK would?
Yes.
Over America?
And that's how to make the UK great again.
Over the
We don't
US?
make the UK great again by fucking deporting immigrants. We make the UK great again by fighting for just causes, by changing the trade system, by revolutionizing the system. That's progression. Progression isn't saying, oh, okay, guys, this fucking Pakistani has just invaded my country, let me kick him out. Oh, this, you know what I mean? All this bullshit, like, and I'm not against deporting sexual offenders and that, obviously, like, I'm for that. But what I'm trying to say to you is that this reform bullshit is not going to change anything.
You think when they deport, like, a lot of immigrants, like, we're going to see less people, like, you know, owning chicken shops and stuff like that?
No, we still will. That's what I'm saying. There'll be fucking AI-generated chicken shops.
Bro, an AI-generated chicken shop would be so sick.
But like even anti-Semitism's like totally on the rise now. Like it's not even like I'm just saying let's riot because I'm a Muslim guy and I just want the Islamic State to return. Like Jews are in danger now. Jews are fucking.
What's the trending anti-Semitic like kind of thing now? What is like the trending topic?
I don't know, bro. Maybe someone saying, "Oh, best I can do is 271,000." You know, 6 million does seem like a lot. All this Holocaust revisionism, all this bullshit.
What is the best number you can do?
The best number I could do is probably like, bro, 6 million does seem plausible.
6 million is the best number you can do. You're saying like a spot on number.
Well, what do you think?
Like 1.6.
Okay, let me ask you a genuine question.
Okay.
If Hitler came back alive right now,
yeah,
what percentage of people in the Western world do you think would vote for him?
Right now,
I genuinely think he would win. I'm not exaggerating. I genuinely think he would win. How about that?
No, I'd tell you probably 4 or 5%.
What?
Just because of his name. That's generally is. If it was someone that was disguised as Hitler.
No. Let's say not because of his name. Let's say it was the exact same person. Just.
Oh yeah, then I agree with you. Like 60%, 50%. The thing is, if you try and mimic,
that's a failure of the left.
If you try and mimic Hitler's speeches and you listen to Hitler's speeches in English, it just sounds like Reform. It sounds like Trump. It sounds like any of these parties.
I asked for peace talks 5 times.
I asked for surrender 5 times. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys just have no opinion on this? Like, and is anything I'm saying?
I just told you my opinion. I think I agree.
Jin, what do you think?
Of what? Sorry, what's the question?
Not exactly Hitler. He's saying if basically the same person. Let's just say everyone forgot Hitler, but the same person with the same ideas and claims comes right now. So they don't have this. They don't have this like traumatic name there.
I think 30%.
30%, yeah.
Yeah, 30%. I think there's a lot of leftist movements that will definitely fight against that. But I think there is a growing population that are fed up.
No, but the population is growing right. They're leaning especially the younger generation are more right leaning than left leaning nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, because the whole reason Hitler was able to get into power was because people were so fed up.
Yep.
With their lives, the way that Germany was being treated.
Yep.
And Hitler was promising
the Jews.
Hitler was promising this new era of this new age, right?
Yep.
So essentially, I see what you mean. It's kind of becoming that state where a lot of people are getting.
Yeah.
They want
change. And what's sad is that people like Reform, they manipulate people but they do offer change. It's just not good change. But people are so desperate that they just want anything. Do you think
that's what happened in Hitler's time?
Yes, that's what happened because they were so desperate that someone like Hitler came because of failed left, because of the failed alternative.
How long have people been wanting change? I swear they've been wanting change since Obama.
People always want
that. People have been.
Life goes in circles. Life goes in circles, but now we're back at the boiling point again.
No, but it's like always this change. Oh, we want change. Like obviously everyone wants change.
Yeah, we want change. Yeah, but change has to come. Like,
is that not just like always gonna happen? Like,
change has to come. But what I'm trying to say to you is that I don't know. You have people like you have these warmongers. We can't give space to these people.
Has there been a politician in the world ever that has had a landslide of people just agreeing, oh, this is a great politician?
Jesus, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Karl Marx, he was pretty good, very good.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus was a politician.
I actually disagree with you. I think religion is probably the most political.
No.
It's actually politics.
I agree. Religion is. I just don't.
No, but even Jesus was a politician. Jesus didn't come. Jesus didn't come and say, "Yeah, guys, do nothing." He said, "What was that thing that he was like?" It was like, "If you love your father, you'd fight for me," or something. I don't know I don't know the exact quote, but he was violent. Jesus wasn't.
No.
No. One second. He wasn't purely. Same with Prophet Muhammad. They weren't purely like pacifists. Agree or not?
He did
disagree.
Jesus.
You disagree.
You're talking about Jesus. You're not talking about Old Testament Bible, right?
I'm talking about the Jesus who said, did he not fight against corruption?
Yeah, but how did he fight?
He didn't fight against corruption.
I'm not saying fighting. I'm saying challenging it systemically.
Yeah, he challenged people's minds, but with kindness. Yeah, positivity.
Okay, but he wasn't exactly a pacifist too, bro. Like, I'm not saying he was a butcher. One second. I'm not saying he was a butcher. I'm not saying he was a violent warlord. I'm not even saying he killed anyone. I'm just saying he violently challenged the social hierarchy.
Why is it violent?
Because violence, even when I mean that, Slavoj Žižek said that Gandhi was more violent than Hitler. Why? Because Gandhi actually challenged the social system. Violence is about change. It's about radical, like, changing.
So what you're doing is violent.
Hitler did not change the system. Hitler made capitalism only good for them. Do you understand? Hitler did not change the system. Hitler was conservative. He didn't change anything. So what I'm trying to say to you is that people like Jesus, people like Prophet Muhammad, people like Karl Marx, they all have similar stories.
But why is it violent, though?
Because it's violently erupting the system.
So anything that's violently changing the system is violent.
In that sense, is what
he's talking about.
So then what? So what you're doing right now is violent.
Yes, yeah. I'm not talking about physical. I'm not inciting physical violence again.
He's talking metaphorically as violent.
What I'm trying to say to you is that people like Jesus, people like that, they were, and these are the, like, you're saying, who was there any good people? Yeah, there were. Like, why is everyone?
But they weren't politicians, bro.
But they
weren't. They weren't in politics, in power like that. Jesus,
they weren't
got killed by the Jews, hung by a stake. Like, what are you talking about?
You know what's so
how you can't be making jokes.
You know what's so funny? You know that Jews, like Israelis, when you ask them, why do you have right to this land? You know what they say? They don't say the Talmud. They don't say the fucking, what's the other one? Torah or whatever. They say the Bible. You know that? You know that they say the land was given to us from the Bible. This is what I mean. They pervert any religion they can get. It's not just, it's like they don't even know what they believe. They don't even know what they believe. Like, it's just some fucking bullshit. Like, and this is why I don't understand that there's Christian fundamentalists that support them too. Like there's like this guy, this pastor in America, I forgot his name, but he's like a known anti-Semite. Pretty sure he goes to like these mega churches, these Texas mega churches in America. It's like, oh yeah, it's the fucking Jews. And guess what? A month later, 2 months later, he was spotted in Tel Aviv, fucking meeting with Netanyahu, and, like peoples of the Israeli cabinet. So I mean, it's kind of like anti-Semitism and Zionism are like friends when they're the total opposite.
Yeah,
it's just so weird.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's still the same claim. But we've just never had one person that you've ever, like a politician that you've ever.
No, you do. We have. We need to stop this pessimism of, oh, there's never good. Oh, there's never. Oh, but it's always like this. Oh, but it's always bad. Oh, just give up. I don't get tired of it.
No,
my get tired of the drowning in pessimism. My point is, it's already bad.
My point is, there's so many different mindsets, different groups. It's hard for someone to come in and please everyone else.
Well, sometimes.
And you go to Jesus, who obviously is a religious figure. Yeah. Christians would believe he's God. Like,
yeah, but Jesus was not a political figure.
Okay, let me ask a
Jesus is not a political figure.
Let me ask a very important question. Figure. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you were in power then.
Yes.
Right. You were the Prime Minister of UK.
Okay.
What changes would you do? What is your 100 days like?
What my 100 days would be to obviously, first of all, no arms to Israel, obviously, and also no trade with Israel. Like, for example, the world needs to cut Israel off completely. And I'm not saying don't allow food and war, because we're not animalistic like them. They starve Gaza of food of war. But I'm saying no tech, no cars, no future, nothing. Just bread and water allowed to them. Okay, that's it. So then the economy will collapse.
That's the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
But
what I also do is I would make some sort of global coalition, just more global cooperation. Just go all in on AI revolution quickly, like put all the resources in AI revolution.
Didn't Europe try to do this global coalition thing?
What with EU?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm against Brexit. But what I'm trying to say to you is that...
no, but what I'm saying is it also doesn't work.
No, it does work. It does work. What I'm trying to say to you is that we just need to accelerate AI revolution, replace jobs, and redistribute the wealth. It's that simple.
So you're talking about not in the national level. You're talking about global.
You're talking about everyone as a whole.
Yes. And isn't that a good thing?
So the Chinese factory workers, they will be earning the same will be given the same amount as us.
Well, Chinese factory workers won't exist anymore. Everything will be automated.
Okay. So every person in the world will have the same income.
Okay, I wouldn't be like exact, but what I'm trying to say to you is that the level of like hierarchy will slowly sink. Will be more and more equal.
Okay, so
would that be boring?
No, it's. I mean, it's essentially leading toward peace. But the question is that even possible?
Oh, it's nothing. It's not possible. Everything's possible nowadays. Tell me some stuff that you believe in? What do you believe in, Jim? Heaven and hell, angels, demons, aliens. You believe in that? That's possible. I'm not even saying that's
Jin doesn't believe in aliens.
Believe in heaven and hell. Okay, heaven and hell seems like.
I'm
not saying it's not.
Do you believe
in heaven and hell? Yeah, why not?
Okay.
But doesn't it seem like a bit of a
this guy,
does it not seem like a bit of a how can I say, it's outlandish theory? I'm not even saying it's not real, but you believe in it. But when you something that's actually possible, like in material reality, that's not possible. Of course not.
I think it's more outlandish to believe that nothing's out there. I think it's even more crazier to just believe that.
I know, but also would you also believe that maybe world change is possible?
No, it is possible, but like what I'm saying is, how is that possible? From like, you'd need someone in power to go, hey guys, let's just all join up.
Yeah. And
how is that possible?
This is what we.
Okay, this is my point, right? I just gave you the scenario where you have 100 days of power. Mm-hmm. Your first 100 days of power as a UK Prime Minister. Mm-hmm. Even though you're a Prime Minister, it sounded like a hell of a lot of work to do to get global cooperation. But back to reality, we're sitting in a podcast room.
We're sitting in a podcast room doing nothing. But we need to, like, so I mean, this is how movements start, though. They start from nothing. How does something how does something come from nothing? So let's take inspiration from HH. He was in pubs and bars, just talking about hating the Jews,
Nah, there's no way you just said that.
No, obviously I don't support that. But what I'm trying to say is he started from nothing. Why can't we?
So how many people do you think will support your views on like this radical change that's being needed?
I don't know how many people, but they need to listen, man. They need to. because we don't have with time is running out.
Just time is literally running out. Just give a estimate. Another estimate. You said 2025. When is it then? When's AI communism coming in? Come on, that's just part of the podcast.
Again, I've kind of backtracked on like how quick AI.
Give it a year, quick year. Come on, you do it. Part of the podcast.
2027 AI taking jobs. You think that's honorable?
2027.
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it. AI communism 2027. We'll see you there.
Okay, AI communism or AI
taking jobs.
AI taking jobs.
Yeah. Both white.
2027. That's in 2 years' time. So he's saying around when GTA 6 comes out. he's thinking
GTA 6 coming in 2026.
Yeah, we'll see.
But isn't it funny that we actually
That's
made?
true.
Yeah. What do you think, by the way? What do you think? So how long? Because Jin, you work on the front lines of like you seeing the AI revolution in its.
He's talking about AI communism, bro.
I'm talking about AI taking jobs.
Okay, if we're talking AI taking
where
jobs,
do you guys work? Okay, you guys work at white collar jobs right now. How long do you
AI's taking job now. You're talking about AI communism? No.
AI is not taking jobs now, bro.
it's not taking full jobs.
It's taking like
It's taking whole
No.
departments.
Listen, in tech, it's taking jobs.
Yes.
In other industries, it's not taking jobs.
Yeah, not all jobs.
How is it taking a job in tech? How though?
Departments are getting fired
because they're being replaced
one
by
guy's way more productive. One guy's
Than
way
20.
more
no.
Yeah.
AI is more productive than the guy, so they're getting kicked out.
Yeah, but the actual AI is not doing the job.
It is.
It's not. It's helping one guy, which means that you need less people.
No, but
correct.
But you got to think. Okay, there used to be a 20-man team. Now there's a 1-man team that replaces everyone else because he has AI. So 90 people are replaced by AI.
Yeah, so it's a job loss.
Yeah. So, but not direct, indirect job loss.
No, they are losing.
Oh, you mean like 1 for 1?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. It's like the
No,
need for more people.
So now there's indirect job loss. What about direct, where the AI, where you don't even need that one person?
That's already happening right now because they've created. Supposedly, this is what Facebook are trying. That's what he was talking about.
Mark Zuckerberg,
talking with Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. He was literally saying like we're very close to getting to a point where we will just have a mid-level software engineer, and we can have other AIs tinkering with the code rather than.
And you don't think that's a problem? Like you guys don't think that that's gonna.
Don't you want that? What?
I do want that.
No, okay. No,
what I'm
it's
trying
not a
to
good
say
point.
to you is that do we not need political change as well?
No.
As in, you're saying it's too. Are you talking about the problems that come after that, or are you talking about the fact that it's going to come?
Of course,
I mean,
the problems.
the problems that come.
Of course, there's going to be problems, but that's what incites the whole UBI thing. It's not like I disagree that UBI will happen when that happens. Of course, that's going to happen. Of course, there's going to need to be radical change. Of course, because everyone's going to be out of a job. How are people going to? What do you mean? How are people going to be able to afford anything? Of course, but I'm just saying in terms of how long that takes, it's going to take a bit longer.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is that as soon as it can replace the job, it will replace the job.
Yeah.
So job loss will come instantly. So UBI has to come instantly.
No, but it's step by step in terms of industry. I get what you're saying, but it'll be software engineers and then it'll be
but what I'm saying is that's like death by 1,000 cuts. Like one industry disappears. These guys have lost their job.
Well, tech's already starting, and then it will probably be some other place. I mean, I was literally hearing about AI getting so good that it could do it'll do a wholesale cycle. Like it will literally speak like a salesperson, have the same voices. Sooner or later, salespeople will be out of their jobs, or like bit by bit. Yeah. At some point, it's going to be like, why would you need a factory?
So then you agree with Zaid?
No, I've never not agreed about that point. It's about the time it takes.
So how long do you think?
Yeah, but you're saying that it's coming. You're saying it's. Well, I don't understand. So do you agree? You're saying it's starting now, and then we're going to need UBI when people lose jobs. But you're saying people are losing jobs now.
I'm saying they're losing their jobs now.
Yes, which means that we need UBI soon.
But you think the scaling is quick. I'm saying it's happening now. Bit by bit, but it's not like completely like
which I agree with, and that's why I backtracked. I was like, maybe 2028, maybe 2020. I don't know.
I think getting closer to that. If you're talking about UBI,
we're talking about a tipping point.
Yeah, UBI.
We're talking about the
when
beginning.
There's so many jobs lost.
We're talking about the beginning of the end. When does the beginning?
No. You're talking about UBI. Yeah, UBI for like 2030 probably.
No, I'm talking about the beginning of the end. When does the beginning of the end for jobs start? Like when does it the tipping point?
Yeah, so you're saying there's so many jobs. There's so many jobs that are lost that there's no return.
2029.
2029.
So that's 4 years later.
I'll give enough time for robotics to be a thing and like actually.
What about white collar then? Just white collar, like just an AI agent.
Yeah, like 2028.
Like what you're doing now, your job.
My job can be replaced in maybe a year, I think.
Yeah, 2028.
If agents come out, my job can be replaced.
You're done.
I would be in the factories.
Yeah, and then that's it. And then all you need is just one guy to just say, you know.
Yeah, so 2029 is when the tipping point happens, and then 2030 is when it starts to go, yo, how about we do some UBI thing? That makes sense. That's 5 years from now. And my original claim was that, though. I was saying it was like 2030 or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not off.
It's time for some clip farming.
But yeah, I mean, you don't think that like this ethnic cleansing is going to end though? So would you say a riot is appropriate?
When does ethnic cleansing ever end, bro?
Say that again. Would you think what?
A riot is appropriate? Like, you know, I was watching like pictures of the Rwandan genocide of like people like starving and like I swear the scenes look so similar.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, in terms of genocide, like, it tends to happen, like, throughout the course of human history, and we're just hoping that it's going to stop happening. But, I mean, can it stop happening in the future? I mean, you think it's going to be like, oh, okay, like, we're now all good now? Communism has happened. And you need communism to happen? And for that to stop happening?
I mean, that's part of it. I don't know. What do you think about the meeting with Elon Musk and Netanyahu? How the most radical right-wing figures are preaching the most left-wing communist ideas? Isn't that an irony?
Like, yeah, but they're not. The reason why they're preaching about it is not because they're thinking of it in the same way of like supporting the people. It's just because inevitably they're just going to take control of it. I don't even think they're not coming from it from the same angle. So I get what your point is, but like,
Jin, can I ask you a question? You know about the economy. What country is the most in debt? US, right?
Yep.
Isn't it funny how the richest country in the world is paradoxically the one that's most in debt?
Yeah. Which is essentially why Trump believes that there needs to be radical change, because they're importing so much more.
No, but that's what he doesn't understand. The guy who can afford to take the most debt is the richest. He's trying to.
Yeah, but it does make sense, because it's like banks, right?
Yep.
The very fact that banks are so big and have so much influence is the trust that they will repay it back, which is why they take on so much debt.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, but no. But what he doesn't understand, he wants to fix the debt when the way the power structure works. Okay, how can I say this? Power works like this. So, for example, let's say you have America here. It's taking money from everyone, okay? The reason why America is the richest is because it can afford to kind of take the most debt. Other people can't take debt because they can pay it back. America has leverage.
Yeah.
So, debt is a good thing. Paradoxically, debt makes you the richest. Because they can afford to borrow more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's ironic that...
Yeah. It's ironic that the richest happens to be the most in debt. But that's literally the logic of the system itself. It's kind of like less than nothing. Anyway, so do you guys think that like ordering a hot chocolate or a strawberry daiquiri on a date is gay? Or like, let's say that...
You take this on.
It depends on like what cup it comes in.
Like, for example, if you're on a date, yeah, and then you see a girl and she like orders like 12 wings and like she finishes it.
Yeah.
What would you say? What do you think?
The thing is, I'm like
it's
different.
Such a turn off.
I'm different. Like that would be such a turn on for me.
She eats 12 wings.
Yeah, 12 wings and like leaves no crumbs, bro. Like she's like,
nice.
Like bone off. You know, and like when you eat wings and like you leave nothing. And
she just eat the cartilage and stuff.
I think it's hot if she knows how to eat meat, man.
I think that's crazy.
No, but what, on the first date? Or are we talking first date right now?
No, just like first, second, third.
Second or third, easy. The thing is, on the first, I find it hard to like actually finish my food.
Yeah, then that's proving his point. That it's weird if you
no. If she can do it, it would mean that she's super comfortable. I'll just be like, oh, she must be really comfortable.
That's weird.
It really isn't. Like for me, I'd look at it and be like, wow, she's really comfortable.
12 wings, bro. I'm talking about 12 like medium-sized wings.
And she's hot.
Yeah, but she finished like it's like
so.
But it's just giving man though. It's not giving woman at that point.
Nah, bro. Like, listen. As in, like, if she scoffed it down really easily, like, as in, like, quick.
Yep.
then yeah, I'd be like, yo, she can eat quicker than I can. But if she's like finished it, obviously just because she has an appetite, you know.
So if you ordered the daiquiri, so I ordered the daiquiri, she orders the 12 wings, and then that just challenges this whole social structure.
No. If you ordered a daiquiri and she ordered 12 wings, that will be an issue.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
I thought you both ordered 12 wings, and then she finished it and you didn't. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you.
Because at that point, my masculinity is just
it's like, listen, the girl came in and she beat you with the 12 wings, and you're just there like 6 wings down, and you still have half of it left. And she's like,
bend over at the point.
And she's looking at you. She's like, "You're gonna finish that?" Like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
also on you're not going to talk about the main topic,
reform, juice. Oh, yeah. So we've already talked about that though.
Your favorite topic?
What, juice?
No, body.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about it a lot, but
what do you think? What do you think she represents in this society?
I think she represents just
unity,
a lost soul trying to search for something.
Unity, bro. Like she brings.
I feel like, have you noticed that even
bro, she brings thousands of people together.
She
brings like 1,000
She's
dudes together.
She's a communist. She's a communist,
and she's equally distributing attention.
That
to
is
all
crazy.
Men. She's giving them 2-3 minutes each, and they're all getting the same reward.
Yeah,
do you know? If anything, it's
like
almost
UBI.
beautiful.
Yeah,
but it's like UBI.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is that, do you think that people, because you know more than me in this aspect, do you think that people who just have sex and they don't really love someone, they just have sex, and I'm not saying it's immoral, I swear I'm not judging, people who just like have like these short-term relationships, do you think that they always find like a void, like something's missing, they're never fulfilled?
Jim?
That's the question. No, real shit. And I'm not judging. Or can people just fucking just, you know what I mean? Just bust a gun one day and just walk around happy days? Is that possible?
I don't know actually, but like if I was to, hypothetically, if that was something that I would do, yeah, I think that you could still do that. It just you'd feel like you're losing some sort of meaning behind the things that you're doing. Yeah, it does become like, you know, meaningless. Like, would you be able to do it? Do you need love, or can you just do it for fun?
I struggle. I can't. I find it very.
So you need that love. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna do this for a bit.
I get tempted, but it's just.
It is temptation, and then once you do it, you're like, oh, I wish I did it with someone I loved.
Yeah.
Jen?
I agree.
Very wholesome way to end the podcast.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice that we all unanimously agree that Bonnie Blue is like, you know, kind of.
But she's not spreading love though.
But she's
not spreading love.
She's spreading love and chlamydia. Like she's spreading like lots of good energy, and then she's also bringing a lot of people together. That is kind of the moral of what we're trying to do here. Communism through sexual acts. That's crazy. That's crazy.
To wrap it off, do you guys think change is possible or not? Do you guys think we can make change? Us, just 3 fucking losers sitting in an industrial park, or whatever the fuck we are.
Michael Jackson wanted to make a change at some point. I mean, the thing is, like, I think change is possible. It's just like in this current state right now.
Yeah.
With all the destruction that's happening.
Yeah, can you just give one word, like a statement to the people so that, you know, encourage them to make more change?
Guys, change is possible if we just unite and just, you know, see us all on the Parliament Square with our fists in the air, you know? I'm joking. No need for that. Just all we need to do is just be on the same page. That's it.
I thought just a second ago you were talking about rioting, weren't you?
No, I wasn't serious with that, don't worry. Anyway, guys, it's been the Revolutionary Pod. We're out.
Thanks for tuning in.